until now, he's played 5 games out of his 8 with Sona.
The other 3 have been on Zyra, and Zyra's a champion that gets bounced between himself and Exterminari. They like that CC, they like the utility that it offers. So Sona again being banned. I wonder if Thresh is going to be banned out. In the previous matchup with Giants, I don't think it was banned or picked. So not as hotly contested, and for SK Gaming, yeah, similar thing as well. So no real love for Thresh between these teams, so to speak, and I wonder if we'll see that, being echoed here.
Well, at least will be the final ban out here for SK. And I don't know, when you get a new champion into tournaments like this, it always doesn't necessarily mean rely on how powerful that champion is at that point. More of who's had the time and put the effort into learning that new champion right off the bat of it. As actually the picks coming in really quickly here as well. Shen obviously went through and will be picked at some stage. First pick this time around for Giants. SK replying with the Zyra pick and a Volibear.
Yeah, so Volibear has been locked in. We'll probably see him in the jungle as usual. Zyra, we've seen her in AP middle already, played by Xpeke earlier today. Yep. Can be used support. I don't think Nif has played Zyra support. No, he has, once already. So 1 time previously, 3 Sonas, 2 Tarics as well. So, a couple of different supports in there for Nif. It's too early to start predicting about the picks, but, we're talking about Thresh and whether or not he gets selected and locked in and trained. It's got to fit your team's play style as well. The champion has got a very good set, a great utility that he can offer, has got crowd control, has got range, has got damage, etc. But it has to fit in your play style, and obviously, if you don't play with that very aggressive support or, somebody being in the thick of it, it doesn't get there. But it does look like the Giants are going to lock this one in. We'll see. It is there. So we've got Hecarim for the 2nd time today. We also have Thresh making an appearance. AP middle and AD carry have yet to be locked in for the Giants.
And I know that D1 is so disappointed right now, the fact that, the clippity-cloppity and the flippity-floppity in one game together.
But against one another.
So imagine how crazy that's going to be.
I have to call D1 out in the previous one. There was the clippity-cloppity, flippity-floppity from, just one reference. But, is it interchangeable? Does it fit?
Yeah,
okay, fair enough.
It always fits.
I like the combination, though. If that box goes down, if you have Babetta throwing himself into a lane, assuming, of course, he plays at support, puts the box down, and you have Hecarim coming in with that Onslaught of Shadows, spreads everybody apart, the likelihood that multiple walls will get triggered is significantly higher. So there's a good synergy, but it's very difficult to pull that off in the chaos of a big team fight.
Especially when the fact that you got Volibear in there who can, with throwing people in and out as well. It looks like we are going to be seeing Darius and Graves being locked in here for SK. I'll be honest, wasn't expecting a Graves pick coming out of Candy Panda, since his Twitch that he's played 3 times up until now was still available. The Varus, the Caitlyn, they're the 3 AD carries that he's played up until now, but he's like, nope, Graves it is.
And Twitch was actually banned out against him for Against All Authority a little bit earlier today, so they took that away. He has taken Graves. If there's going to be that burst combination, I can understand why you would do that. It is a very powerful lane champion. I'd like to see who they lock in. I believe Nif ran Taric earlier in the day. I'm just double checking my notes. It was Taric. So if they go for that Taric Graves combo in the bottom lane, give Ocelot Zyra in the mid lane, there's a lot of tank, there's a lot of utility, there's peel. They've got little bits of everything. And of course, Taric Graves, that was Season 2 combo for a very, very long time.
Yeah, it was a strong one as well. Obviously, Caitlyn picked up here by Giants, and that is what Jimbone's going to be falling back to on this one. We've seen him actually playing Caitlyn more than Kennen, but that's pretty much because Kennen's been banned the whole time. And also, obviously, Ashe a couple of times in there as well. But there is the, I was going to say there's the Extermin for Rise, but obviously exactly. The other way around.
No, well, I think that fits perfectly because, sort of the high priority bans that have been coming up against the Giants has been the Kassadin and it has been the Kennen. That's sort of been the very big talking points of Kassadin. Rise. Kassadin was the other one for Exterminari, but he hasn't played quite as often. And it's been his Kassadin play that's really carried Giants through to many of their victories because he's so powerful with that champion. If that is a Kassadin versus a Zyra, which is what I'm thinking right now, unless Ocelot decides to pick somebody else, I think he's going to be outranged, and that's going to be a very difficult matchup for him because he's just not going to be able to get close enough, and it does actually get swapped. So it'll be an Orianna, a little bit better for Rise, but still, Ocelot on Orianna, they're playing the signature champs right now.
Yeah, we've seen how strong he can be on that one. Interested to see how Hercubot's going to come out with the Volibear pick as well. We've not seen him play Volibear up until now. In the last game, he played...
Jarvan in the previous game.
4 games in. Yeah, Jarvan indeed.
Jarvan earlier today. He has played Hecarim once. He's played Jinzhao once, according to the records. Twice he's played Jarvan, adding a Volibear into there. So I don't think he has... My memory is escaping me now. But the combo is very, very nice when he's going to have the Command Protect, follow with distance, get the movement speed from that, as well as the movement speed from his Rolling Thunder. So he's going to be able to chase right in. The problem is, you're just going to have Thresh that's going to put a box down and say, nope, you will not pass. Or you're going to have Ryze going, you shall not pass, Rune Prison, and just walk away. You know, it's very disheartening when you commit to a fight and you just get Rune Prisoned up.
All them speed bonuses put on you, like, right, I'm ready to go, and Rune Prison. Yeah, that could be how it goes in this one. But quick shot, we've got the 2 lineups locked in for this. Who are you fancying?
It's impossible to say. You know, each team has got such great... They work very well in their own composition, and it's going to come down to who picks the fights better. Because the Giants, they've shown that they have team fight power, they've got team fight presence, they've got coordination, and they've got a team that can do that very well. If you have Morden's Hecarim diving into a fight, follow that up with Stamix's Shen coming in with Stand United, it's a very scary frontline before Ryze even joins the party. And the amount of protection that entire composition can offer Caitlyn is very, very powerful. But you've got something very similar. You can have Volibear rushing into a fight with Orianna Ball on top and picking battles that way. I feel like the initiation potential is a lot stronger from Giants, though. So the onus is on them to pick the fights and make them happen.
And especially there, if we take a look here in-game at the summoner spells as well, Extermin got the teleport. So you've got Morden who can get in there extremely fast, especially if they use the help of Thresh for that one. You've got the teleport in from Extermin. You've got Samux with the Stand United. That can be a lot of people very quickly in any lane, really, that they're going to go for in this. So SK got to be a little bit wary about that one. But level 1 action, do you think we're going to see anything here?
I highly doubt it. You can see the teams are just setting up for this defensive start once again. The Giants hanging around their red buff area just in case there is any invade. They don't have that living ward like we've seen from Evil Geniuses in the previous matchup because Kevin has already made his way to that top lane grass. And I think, again, it's just going to be a fairly safe, fairly standard start. A couple of pings telling you where they are. What I would love to see from Babetta in this matchup is that Dark Passage Lantern with Morden's Hecarim ultimate. It's actually the description that Crepo gave to us in week 2 or week 3 when it was first allowed. And he said, there's nothing you can do. He's going to come in, he's going to have Ghost on, he's going to have his devastating charge, get all that movement speed increase, get flung into the fight by the Lantern, and then just collapse on everybody with his ultimate. Like, there's no very reliable counterplay to that. But it's difficult to pull off.
Yeah, difficult to pull off, but if you nail it, then you can get the rewards from that. And I said earlier on in the day, with the Volibear that we saw coming into that lane, it was, a flying bear is definitely scarier than the charging bear. Well, I'm not sure that a horse is any less scary when it comes flying to you. And, Hecarim comes flying at you anyway without the help of the lantern.
I imagine that spectral Ghost Rider-looking horse is a tiny bit more intimidating than the fluffy Yogi Bear coming at you, but nevertheless, they are
bears are scary.
In terms of the wards, though, take a look at this. 4 wards had come out from Giants. I think one of them was an Explorer ward, which, no, it's there. You can see the 4 wards in the river. So quite a lot of early investment in terms of vision, and it does look like they're going to be doing a lane swap. They want to try and shut down Darius and give Shen that duo lane in the bottom lane.
Yep, in the end, no real strange plays coming out from the start of this one. Obviously, it's going to be Caitlyn and Thresh up against Darius. Actually, Hecarim already coming in here for the invade. That's going to be Morden moving around towards this red buff. It's not been taken as of yet, but Beta will be coming around to help as well. And SK doing the same on the other side.
Yeah, they're just straight up swapping buffs at this moment in time. So nothing lost or nothing gained. And with having, the duo lanes in different positions, the strength of numbers is obviously balanced out because you've got 3 members in one another's jungles. Something we're going to have to keep a very close eye on is Babetta's soul count at the moment, because the amount of physical damage that's going to come down from the auto attacks of Kevin, from the auto attacks of Volibear, and the burst of Graves he doesn't gain armor, but it looks like Samox is in trouble.
Yeah, that three-man gang coming in. Samox going to get flung back. Can they lock him down? There go the grasping roots. Actually will land. Samox in trouble, and there is Volibear to finish off. Morden comes running in from the side and quickly realizes he needs to run away straight from that one. But again, a three-man gang down on the bottom.
Yeah, that nom 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 from Frenzy, it's such a good execution move. It increases the damage based on the percentage of missing life. So as soon as they got him low enough, he immediately just leaned forward and munched it. Key there, if you have a look, they did burn their flashes, both Candy Panda and Nif, to get the assist, but you're happy doing that, but they still have their Ignite and their Barrier if they continue to duel and fight out.
Yeah, still could say stay relatively safe from that one. Shen, on the other hand, did use both Flash and his Ignite in that last encounter, so everything gone from his side of things. And there we see the hook actually landing on towards Kevin. Not quite enough damage coming out to be threatening for the kill, but if they can take a third of his life away with every kind of push like that, then that's a winner every time for Giants.
Yeah, that death sentence, it's on about a 20-second cooldown, give or take, and if it lands, it's so much time to get 2, 3, 4 auto attacks at this point in time. If you can have Jims actually sitting in the bushes and getting those headshot procs a little more, the burst damage is going to be even higher. So it's a scary place to be in. Kevin has already burned through his potions and he's only got that fortitude pot, but he's left Jims alone. He's going to rely on that 90 caliber to get to safety.
Yeah, there was a trap just put down around that choke point coming out. The ward did spot him coming around by that tri-bush there, so he knew he was coming around. Hecarim's position has been pinged on the minimap there as well, so SK are aware of Morden's position at this point. But if we look at the gold, 6.3 thousand to 5.6, the CS, Darius got that slight lead over Shen, which you can expect. He's had more time in the lane, of course, after Shen did end up dying middle. Ocelot already got a 10 CS lead over Rise, got that tier in there already, and the AD carries pretty much even on that front as well.
Yeah, they've traded these lanes, so they've got, as much time to free farm as possible, and it's just going to be a matter of whose presence is going to be more impactful in these games. And, we've seen it earlier in the day when Soaz was running Shen. His ability to just join a fight with Stand United literally saved them about 3 or 4 times from almost a guaranteed death. Garen's ultimate was coming down and the Stand United would come in. So it's very powerful ability that even without farm, without items, it has the ability to change the sway of team fights. Whereas Darius, if he falls behind, he can get chunked down, he can get burst, and if he's not alive long enough to get that guillotine down, it's not going to have an impact in these fights.
You see both outer turrets here with the 2v1 lanes are actually fairly low on both sides of the map, so might not be too long until we see the first turret of this game coming down. Actually, we did see Morden hanging around a long time around this bottom side of the map. He was stood on a ward for pretty much the entirety of that time, so he's not really going to get anything done on this bottom side of the map. We can see there Hercubot just standing on top of a trap and then realizing, damn, not going to get anything there. Actually did walk through 2 wards, or by the one I think came from the riverside either way, so they spotted his positioning anyway. Giants not in any immediate danger there.
And that wind up from the death sentence is half a second, and it doesn't sound like a very long time when you say it out loud, but it's actually relatively easy to dodge if you can predict where it's going to be thrown. If in that particular situation, or where the flash apprehend doesn't manage to land, and Summoner Spell's burnt.
Yeah, that could have been dangerous. The apprehend coming in with the flip on top of it as well.
The flippity floppity.
Can't even get the right half of it in here. But we can see Candy Panda now putting down more pressure onto this bottom turret. They've got a decent amount of minions there with them as well, and that is going to be the first turret of the game taken down in favor of SK. That will put them almost 2,000 gold in the lead now, and with 7 minutes gone, that's definitely not to be sniffed at.
It's really great to see what SK have been doing. In the previous game, they showed a clear goal in their early game. They knew they wanted to tower dive. They knew they wanted to push the lanes very, very hard, and they pulled it off successfully. And they've done the exact same in this matchup. They pushed the 3v1, they got the kill, and now they've got the tower as well. So, the opening minutes is definitely in favor of SK Gaming, and I want to see how they position their carries now. Are they going to swap to the top lane, try to defend that tower and shove down the top lane? Because at the moment, Candy Panda and Nif are rolling bottom.
Just seen blue buff being given over there to Extermin's Rise in the middle lane. Ocelot's blue buff is up and available for the taking, but he doesn't want to be missing any CS here in the middle lane as he is going to get Rune Prison. Jimbone's coming around, but Ocelot not going to die from that one. And I think that the blue buff actually was just taken there. No, yes it is. It is actually on Hercubot there. Couldn't quite see him as he sat in the shadows of that brush. But Pink Ward has gone down by Dragon. All 5 men for SK are on the bottom side, so we may see the first player here coming in as Hercubot tries to run in there. There is a Rune Prison, but the Shockwave going to bring in 2 of them. San United coming down onto Jimbones. He's going to be in a lot of trouble here as he will just about manage to get away. They pull Kevin under that tower as well. Jimbones has finally gone down in that one. Well, that will be a 1-0 for SK with Hercubot and Kevin both going low, but they've taken the AD carry out.
Yeah, really well played. They jumped onto that fight. They've got wards in place for the Dragon. You can see on both sides of the river, you know, the enemy jungle as well as their own. Probably going to pick up this Dragon now as well. Good play. As soon as that Rune Prison wore off, Hercubot just flashed in, flung them backwards, and the Apprehend was there to follow it up. Are the Giants going to try to contest, though? Catch the Dragon.
Gets the hook onto the Dragon. It's down to below half HP now. We see Giants still coming in here. He's going to be taken out in the end by Volibear as they pull Morden. Can they lock him down? Grasping Roots not landing as Extermin will take down Hercubot, and SK not really super healthy from this one, but Giants, probably rightly so in my opinion, decide not to chase in fully for that one. They're going to be rewarded with that kill onto Volibear.
I said this in the previous game as well, 2 games ago, that trading 1 kill for Dragon, you're actually fairly happy with that trade. If Giants grab this tower though, that's not good for SK. Towers are always more important. They do not respawn, they do not come back. And if Hecarim had his ultimate there, how different that fight could have been, being able to dive in and disrupt everybody. Giants are still stacking up, but there's not a lot of attack damage built up just yet. And they managed to catch Nif.
Oh, Nif got to get exploded there right underneath his own turret. And, well, that's definitely not going to be worth it, at least unless Volibear gets involved, which he doesn't. Giants, as you said, lost out on Dragon, but they took that kill for it. Then they took that outer turret in the middle, plus the kill onto Nif as well, who kind of surprised me that he hung around for so long there, because, let's be honest, they're just not going to be scared of him when they're so healthy. Obviously, with that being a support Zyra, not really having much damage, having that lockup. Yes, as Hercubot going to get pulled in as well. He will be able to run away from that though.
And the rest of Giants are trying to set up to defend this tower. There's 2 kills did go to Exeter, and you can actually see the lantern pull jumping him, across the lane. And with Exeter having, a good chunk of change, almost 1,800 gold right now to spend, he is the champion that can really help change the tide of this mid game, because his Rune Prison is what's going to stop those engagements from Hercubot as long as his flash is down. And the pressure is on him really to help survive the burst that can come down and, of course, put a lot of damage in return.
And we saw earlier on that they did manage to lock Hercubot down. The only way that he could really get in there for that shockwave to actually take effect was to flash straight in and get that down, because they can lock him in there pretty easily. We'll see how this one all goes down, though. Current gold is 13.3 to 14.9. Of course, 1 turret apiece. The advantage in turrets, you definitely give over to Giants at this point, having that outer turret in the middle lane down. There's the individual gold. You can see that Darius ahead by a couple of hundred.
That's as even as it can get.
Pretty much across the board. That's the fact.
That's about as even as it can get, to be honest. I mean, 500 gold in the jungle. Yeah, it's a difference, but it's not a huge difference right now. So the game is still completely on and, very close. We haven't seen a big engagement with all ultimates. The previous fights in the middle, we did see Hercubot going very aggressive with the flash toss, but there was no continued fight. They caught somebody out, put some damage down, and it was just reactionary defense from Giants.
Now, Samek's up in this top lane. He's got that Giant's belt in. Also a Giant's belt over with Kevin as well. Got that Ruby Crystal in there, so got a bit more HP as Samek says, I want this tower taken down, damn it. We'll finally get rid of it. He's currently bleeding though, and Kevin's going to give chase. He's going to move straight in there on top of him. Can he get the finisher? There is the ultimate coming out. Samek's going to get apprehended in, and Kevin will take the kill. He got the turret in the process though.
Yeah, did manage to pick up the kill. So again, a trade that I think Giants will be happy with overall. And Kevin just burning the ultimate, not waiting until he's low enough, doesn't want to risk, missing the cooldown refresh. Just got 5 stacks of hemorrhage, hit the ultimate, maximum damage, put Ignite down and just went, look, the bleed will eventually kill him, but Morden's in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, Morden in a lot of trouble here, as we are going to see the Zyra ulti go down. He will charge out of that one, but can Hercubot get in there? No, not quite. Well, we were talking about it earlier on. The flash has been really crucial, or going to be certainly even more in the future with those lockdowns that they've gotten. The mobility on the Giants team you need that flash to get the engage, but SK going to be looking for a turret back.
Yeah, so they steal the blue buff away, they force the ultimate out of Morden, and they get the top turret. They may lose their bottom turret. There's nobody really close enough. Candypan is going to get there, but I don't think he's going to be able to 1v2 if Babetta lands a good hook, and it's going to cost him his life. So Giants take the turret lead once again, 3-2 in that regard. And, a little while ago we would have talked about which team had the most Giants belts a couple of weeks ago would win the game. The Giants belt for Kevin's Darius has already been upgraded to a Warmogs.
Yeah, Warmog's already in there, and he's 2 for 0. He's going to become a real nuisance if this game keeps going that way as well. Volibear got the Giants belt in there as well. We've also got one with Shen, a couple of chain vests over for Giants as well. So really cautious about that attack damage that's coming out there. Going to be stacking up that armor. If
my memory serves me as well, I'm trying to think back, it might have been the Dragonborns versus SK matchup where Spontex was running Darius, and he went full tank Darius and just carried on pushing. He had the Bioforge armor, and I remember getting the triple kill in the mid lane right towards the end. He just went super beefy, super tanky, just mega frontline, and it looks like that might be something similar right now. Kevin's first item out the gate is a Warmogs. He's keeping up in CS. He's got 2 of his team's 3 kills. And if he's allowed to survive long enough, the longer those team fights go, the higher the likelihood of that Noxian Getting landing the killing blow and getting the reset. And you don't need to build damage if you can survive long enough to get 2 or 3 resets in a fight.
So yeah, down in the bottom, Candy Panda and Jim Bones having a little bit of a fight with each other. And, well, Jim Bones just going to force Candy Panda away. That minion wave obviously gone, and Jim Bones will be catching up here. I mean, we're 14 minutes in, let's call it a quarter of an hour into the game, and the 280 carries are pretty much bang even there on the crit score. You can see items a little bit different. Berserker Greaves pickaxe and the Vamp set to Doran's blade in for Caitlyn. Graves just finished off that Bloodthirster. He's got the tier 1 boots plus a Doran's blade and a pink ward coming out now as well.
I wonder if Jim Bones is going to go the Blade of the Ruined King build, because the pickaxe and the Vamp Scepter, it will eventually upgrade into it, or if he's going to go the Infinity Edge. We'll see what he decides to build. And there's a lot of talk around that build at the moment. Somebody did some number crunching, and apparently if the Blade is your first item with Berserker's Greaves against somebody with just an Infinity Edge, based on the fact that IE only gives you, 25% chance of crit, overall, the Blade is going to give you more damage. So, you can run the numbers and see how it works out. We got to wait for it to get upgraded. A BF sword's been picked up, so Jim Bones is going to cancel my entire train of thought because he wants IE first.
Yeah.
What a meanie.
Or even Bloodthirster first. We've seen that as well. Also people going in for that pickaxe initial burst of damage for cheaper than what the BF sword's going to give you, and then going into that Bloodthirster after. Either way, SK are going to be starting off Dragon here. Their wards were cleared out by those pink wards of Giants, but they will actually back away now that they've seen Giants coming in a little bit more aggressively. In fact, all 5 members from both teams are going to be in there. Caitlyn will use Ace in the hole, but they will take down the Dragon. But here comes the horse. Ocelot going to put his ulti down there, and that is going to be on towards Extermin. Graves will take down the horse, and now Kevin taking the damage. He will have to back away, and that will leave us with a 1-for-1. There is the shockwave coming out. Jim Bones getting rooted up as well. Can they finish off? Yes, they kill. Ocelot will pick up that one. Extermin going low as well. He's trying to get away with the teleport. That's not going to be enough. Now Babetta being chased down. Have they got the speed in to get on top of him? A flash from Ocelot will lock that one up, and they apprehend. Actually, it was Ocelot that managed to steal it in the end, and he's not done just yet. He thinks he can take out Samox here as well. Certainly got plenty of mana to do it. He gets a little bit too deep. Samox turns it around and picks up the kill.
Yeah, Shadowdash Taunt just prevented him getting any more damage down. A very good fight for SKM Gaming overall. They got the Dragon. They got a bunch of kills in there as well. And I think Nif can be accredited with that victory. His Stranglethorns completely cut off any assistance that the Giants could put down.
Yeah.
Morden dove in there. He picked the fight, and the rest of his team was just cut off, prevented from getting in, and SK just focused them down one by one by one. Very, very good play coming out of SK.
Yeah, and when I said Ocelot's ultimate, I obviously did mean the Stranglethorns of Nif that went down in there first. The Shockwave is used later on to lock Jim Bones down.
And yeah, that Shockwave was actually very good as well. It only caught one, champion, but it was the most vital one. Jim Bones was relatively untouched in that fight, so the huge burst damage that, chunked his HP bar meant he wasn't really relevant for the rest of that engagement. So very, very good play. Target choosing or target acquisition from SK was spot on, and ended up winning it, quite convincingly. The Neasy Large Rod has now been picked up Oriana, so if his damage wasn't high enough, that's definitely going to give it a nice big boost.
Now let's mention the items a little bit here because we are starting to move through. Need to see a large rod for both of them in the middle. Second catalyst actually being picked up for Rise as well, but as you mentioned, need to see a large rod in there. Gonna give that nice edge over to Oriana. What else do we have? Bloodthirster, Zeal now finished here for Graves. Caitlyn, after dying, wasn't quite able to finish off anything with that BF sword, but did pick up those Berserker Greaves obviously earlier on. As Candy Panda just trying to force Morden out. You're not going to catch Hecarim, that's for sure.
No, not at all. As soon as he pops that E of his, he just gets so much movement speed. I wonder what Morden is actually going to do this matchup, because against Fnatic, he just split push the entire time. He had an insane CS score as a jungler. And yeah, he had some map presence and bought some time for Giants. It didn't really have an impact on the game. So SK obviously would have seen that game and would be thinking, is he going to do the same? And it's this chess game again now of Morden saying, well, let's pick some more team fights because we realized that was the mistake. Or, as it looks like right now, Morden just saying, nope, I just want to split push. I want all them minions.
Yep, get all the farm in there. Actually got 81 CS right now. That's a 20 CS lead that he has over the SK jungler Hercubot at this point. If we look down the middle lane again, that's where the biggest difference is at this point. 165 to 147. And even when I say biggest difference, it's not that much of a difference either overall.
No, not too much. The thing that's very important for me right now is a few seconds ago, Nif just picked up an Oracle's Elixir. So he's got the ability to clear. He's popped that little potion now that the pink eye is on him. And you can see all of the Giants' wards, if you look on the mini-map there, in their own side of the map, just past the river. And they've got so much vision right now that as long as Nif starts clearing out these wards, this is what's going to keep them in the lead for this mid-game, you know. As long as he's got that pink eye running, he can keep running around.
Yeah, and we saw earlier on in the Fnatic game that the ward coverage was a lot better for Fnatic, and if SK can achieve that as well and start, you know, gradually pushing through the map a little bit more with wards, starving them of the jungle, that's, you know, very much what EG do and a lot of the top teams do, and I think what you have to do as well, if we're being honest, if you want to control those games after you get that little bit of a lead. Right now, Giants starting to push up through that middle lane. SK are actually around the side of them here. May look to close down as Hercubot is going to run in over towards Jimbones. The Lantern was down. Jimbones, though, already 90 caliber near their way.
You see, now that to me also thinks that maybe they're not quite as practiced with it. SK have grouped up very nicely that they're probably going to be able to get this inhibitor down, the inner turret down, because there's a lot of attack damage, but they don't have many creeps, so that's the problem.
Yeah, and as you said about the practice there, I think one thing that you've really got to practice is how your AD carry is going to be running. What is he going to do first? Yeah. Because if you've put that Lantern down in 90 caliber nets, it's just useless, basically, as you saw there. I mean, it needs to go where he's going if it's to be useful in saving his life in that way. So, as you said, you know, Thresh is the newest champion that we've got in there. There's plenty of time for people to be getting better and better. Quinn
and Valor was just released earlier today in NA, probably later tonight EU West. She will be available in a couple of weeks here in EU West, or in the LCS, so we'll see if it gets picked up. But Thresh at the moment is the champion to be looking at. We haven't seen any engagements from Babette just yet. I don't think I can even recall seeing him use the box either. And the previous fight by the Dragon, the way that Giants were setting up, both Hecarim and Thresh were on the front line. Thresh was actually ahead of Hecarim. It looked as though he wanted to get that death sentence, queue in, you know, follow it up, put the box down, and then have the ulti. But it just didn't play out that way. Morden went a little too early, and unfortunately, Thresh really didn't have a very big impact on that.
Well, in the end, Caitlyn did go for that Infinity Edge first over the Bloodthirster, so I stand correct, Trevor. You got that one nailed down. On the other side, we see Blasting Wand actually coming out, and Extermin, well, double Rod of Ages again. Double
Rod of Ages. We'll see if he's going to make it, you know, any more, but I believe he tends to finish up his Archangels and work towards the likes of a Frozen Heart or something similar for his third and fourth items. Giants are a little bit split up. Yeah, SK have knitted together as a tight five, and we'll see if they can catch any of the Giants members out. Dragon is alive and has respawned. Samux is busy split pushing, and Shen will be happy with this situation because he can join the party with a Stand United.
So here we go then. SK got that going. Giants on the south side of them. Ball Just sat there as a warning. If you come too close, we're going to shockwave you in as Babetta is going to hook Hercubot into the middle of them. Flip comes in. Actually, the shockwave wasn't amazing. Box will go down, and they're moving in and out of the fight here. Up until now, no kills. Hercubot going very low. He will flash away from that when they turn around onto Candy Panda. The roots will save his life. They need to be careful who blocks it there. Hercubot started to get in the way, naturally as you do, but in the end realized he has to back off. Nif took the damage from that, and SK turned back around and start off doing that dragon, and the fact that Ocelot is so healthy here may be their saving grace, and that's why they're still hanging around. He feels like he's got the damage to get this one done, but in the end the call comes out. SK back away. Will Giants risk going for it?
It looks like they want to. Giants have got a lot of damage. You can see once they did get onto Candy Panda, they shredded his HP bar, but it just wasn't enough to pick up the kill. They will pick up this dragon. The question is, can SK get any kills on the way out?
Well, they're certainly going for it here as we see the 90 caliber net landing down on Nif. That Oracle going to clear out the wards inside of the Dragon Pit, but that's pretty much all. And that was a nice take for Giants. That's going to give them 2,000 gold. As we are going to see Kevin come around. He's going to get in towards Extermin. Good flash away from the Apprehend.
Yeah, manages to put space between him, but there's a full minion wave this time round in the middle. So I can't get too excited and say this time they have the numbers to actually take out the tower. All 5 members of the team there. Bloodthirster, Pickaxe, and Longsword there on Candy Panda's Graves. Going to get that Lost Whisper and completed very soon, and the amount of damage from the buckshot and the collateral damage will be so much higher once he can actually get through the amount of armor that the Giants have built.
So SK, I'm guessing by this point they're sat on a decent amount of gold. They're all going to be backing away from this one. As we see blue buff being picked up there by Giants. It's obviously going to be going over to Extermin's right. There is Babetta's Oracle coming out as well. And we'll see what they're able to clear out with this one. He's going to be pinged out. No wards actually in the Baron Pit at this stage for SK. And with the fact that they know where Babetta was, they're going to want to be checking that Baron Pit here soon, as Babetta using that lantern to scout. Very wise play from him before he just face checks in there. And obviously don't want to end up losing that Oracle just as you get it in.
Nif's Oracle has timed out. He picked it up around about the 19-minute mark. I stand to be corrected. I think that was around about the same time as Crepo actually picked it up as well. So, you know, timing a little bit similar. Now that the Giants won or survived the previous team fight, survived's a better way of saying it. They got the dragon on the way out. You can see that Babetta wants to try and take back vision control. And look at how many wards there are on the map. I mean, it's just blue and red dots absolutely everywhere as the blue buff resets again for the 3rd time, I think, this little attempt. And if the Giants, again, now it's their power play, if they can keep the vision up and deny the vision of SK, they're going to have the ability to make an informed decision on a fight and push a lane.
So, item-wise, that second Rod of Ages is now finished over for Extermin. See the last Whisper added into Bloodthirster Zeal for Graves. Double daggers actually being picked up there on the other side for Caitlyn. There's another Oracle actually being bought straight out by Babetta, so waiting for that last one to time out. If it's not already time out, no, it's still actually running, so he's going to have an Oracle. He's going to have another 5 minutes after that one to be clearing out wards, so they're really keen here, Giants, to have that map presence.
So 25 minutes into the game, taking a look at Babetta, he's got 56 souls collected, which gives him 48 bonus armor. I mean, that is a huge stack of armor. That's more than a chain vest. So just from his passive alone, he's got that. Now, of course, you know, he doesn't gain armor per level like many champions do, so you've got to balance it out in that regard. But nevertheless, it's a very, very powerful pickup. He's got that extra Ruby Crystal along with the Ruby Sightstone. We'll see what he decides to upgrade that into, most likely a Kindle Gem and something similar. The rest of the items, nothing too exciting across the board. We do see that Kevin is going for that full tank Darius. It looks like he's got the makings of a Sunfire Cape, and Hercubot has got the Aegis of the Legion picked up.
Who are you fancying at this point, Trevor? I mean, obviously, gold lead for SK, kill lead, turret lead. Everything's pointing towards SK, but how does that all come down into the team fights?
You actually seen in the previous, you know, the last 2 fights paint perfect pictures. Both of them have been in and around the Dragon Pit. The very first time, Nif got a perfect Stranglethorns. It cancelled any initiation that the Giants could put down. The second time they fought, the Stranglethorns was less effective, and they got a very good combo because they managed to catch somebody with the hook. There was a flash back from Babetta, so he pulled him closer to the team, and that disruption from Hecarim in the box, you know, played its toll on SK. So it literally comes down to who lands their abilities in the best way possible. to determine who's going to win. A 3,000 gold lead at 27 minutes is chump change. It's nothing is really going to make a massive change on the matchup, and it just comes down to purely who's in the right place.
Oh, Jimbo's here getting caught out, but the hook will actually land onto Oslo. He's going to flash over the backside. Ball comes back in there. That was crazy stuff as Candy Panda goes low. Oslo going to try and escape here. Ace in the hole. Going to land as Samak's chasing down here. And here comes the horse from the side. Oslo had already used his flash. Is he going to go down? Yes, he is. Extermin will pick up the kill. And what a reaction from Giants.
That is just... It should not have happened. An AD carry left, behind enemy lines alone so far down, got caught by the shockwave. Stand United saved him, and Babetta landed such a clutch death sentence.
That one in so
completely
nice.
Caught him. Landed the ability, dove over the wall, and the movement speed debuff from the box. You've seen it. Volibear went nowhere fast. 99% for 2 seconds, and the Giants have started the big work.
Yeah, down to that minimum 110 movement speed, which is, well, basically nothing. you just stood there. At the end, they are going to hook Kevin here. They are going to lock him down as well. Can they finish off? Where are the ultimates coming out from Zyra? It's going to get a knock up onto pretty much the whole team as Kevin gets one. There's the double. Can he get in any more? He's got those resets as he chases down towards Jimbo. He's going to die before he could actually land that ultimate. But SK are ripping through him. Here comes the bear over the wall. Will fling Extermin back. Samax is surely not going to escape this one either. It's a double kill for Graves in the end and an ace for SK Gaming.
The mistake for Giants, they didn't have a lot of their key ultimates up. There was no Stand United. There was no charge that could come down, or the ultimate from Hecarim. No box either, and it just simply could not, they didn't have the abilities necessary to win the fight. That super mega tanky Kevin just tanked through absolutely everything, and it looks like the stealth Baron will pass his buffer.
Them stealth Barons. Actually, good job that they had that pink ward down, which they don't actually have. Damn it, if that joke would have been a lot more awesome if there was a pink ward or an oracle actually with them at that point. But yeah, SK, of course, ace, Baron, that leaves them in such a great position right now. And there you just see the strength of Darius, that reset that he gets on his ultimate is ridiculous amounts of damage, whilst at the same time, Warmogs and the Sunfire Cape being super tanky.
Yeah, the build complemented, his role in the fight. He tanked, stayed alive long enough for the rest of SK to get there, and because there was no follow-up outside of, the basic abilities from Giants, they simply couldn't win that fight. Dragon is alive, and it looks as though SK have got position for this, and with Jimbones, way out of position in their top lane, there's no ways they can really contest with this. They need his damage. He's got Phantom Dancer, he's got Infinity Edge. He needs to be in the fight, with his team, because they simply don't have that AD damage to back it up.
That Dragon here just going to be extending SK's gold lead, 46 to 41,000 gold, so a nice 5k gold lead for him right now. And I'm wondering, with the spike of that Baron pickup there, is 2,000 gold between the AD carries right now at this point. The AP carries in the middle, actually Rise has an advantage from that one because he's 5 kills, obviously. But will they be able to hold on to these turrets now? SK Gaming already starting to push in. Minion Wave's going to be joining in as well as Extermin comes rushing out of the base there with those Home Guard boots on. But SK not going to be put off by that one just yet. They are going to be hanging around and trying to put as much damage as he can. And like you said, Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper Graves there, he's going to be stripping those turrets off. And you saw in the last fight, it was a problem because they were so scared of Darius that they start backing away, and they just chase in there with the likes of Volibear. Graves can quick draw in. They're just going to put down so much damage before you can even turn around and run. Yeah,
and the burst potential is really, really high. Both of these teams have the ability to catch somebody and blow them up very quickly. And there's the catch. It's on Kevin, though. That's the worst possible target. Probably next to Volibear, of course. Lantern goes out just as a little bit of a shield in case anyone oversteps. They can just throw themselves back towards Babetta. And the siege is just on. And a siege with SK with Baron buff, it's always going to end well for them. The Giants may give up this tower. There's another creep wave coming in, and neither team willing to overcommit to a fight. They don't want to throw away any lead they've built up or pick a battle with Baron that they don't feel they can win. And look at the damage onto Babetta.
Yeah, already doing a great job, Hercubot. We saw actually it was Kevin that tanked up the turret on that last time with the command protect on him. Didn't really lose anything coming in, and with the regen coming out of that Warmogs from the Baron as well, he can afford to tank that one pretty much all day whilst Graves hammers away on that and gets things finished off. And the ball from Orianna in this position, great for zoning them away from an area where they could potentially be doing damage as Kevin steps on one trap. But again, he's just not the target. If he takes out those traps, well, they're not really doing anything. Like, even if he gets stunned up there, you can't just go in on him because, well, he's so tanky, as we do see the ball coming once again, doing huge amounts. Kevin again with Command Protect going to be tanking up that turret. SK need to make a move on it, and finally they will find that opening, and the inhibitor turret goes down. The inhibitor as well will be following. Consistent
poke, landing command attack, command dissonance is more than enough to pick it up. I think minions actually took out another tower, if that... No, it was just the inhibitor. It was a tower and then inhibitor. And the damage onto Jumbones and Babette is huge. I'm looking at them. They don't have an Aegis of the Legion yet, but it looks like it is being built by Babette. And once they get that additional MR, it's going to help mitigate some of the damage, but it feels a little bit too little right now. You know, they need more than just that.
Oh, Candy Panda almost being hit there by the hook, even though I don't think even if they got there, they could do anything. As Morden going to engage here over the side. The shockwave's great. The box coming down. We are going to see them go through as Ocelot gets one kill. Samuks down to half HP. Kevin going to be running through there. He was caught by the hook. Is he going to fall? Yes, he will. It's Shen that's credited there with the kill, and that will be a 2-for-1 for SK, and that is enough for them to get this inner turret.
Candy Panda has not even been touched for this entire battle. He's lost 10% of his HP, and if you cannot get onto the graves with Phantom Dancer, Bloodthirster, and Last Whisper, you are not going to win that battle. They're going to just brute force this inhibitor turret down, jump onto the inhibitor while Hecarim and Caitlyn are still down, actually decide to back away, take away the jungle buffs, and just, you know, be happy with the pull. So good play by SK, knowing when to back off. They had the advantage. They got super creeps in the mid lane. I think Baron has just worn off, so, you know, we're waiting for that one to respawn in a couple of minutes. Just reset everything, you know, spend a lot of the money they've got.
Yeah, and they're sat on a bunch of money as well. Orianna, 2,300 gold right now to spend. You see that Zeref's Embrace. Obviously, the Archangel's coming in and switching over. That Haunting Guy is being picked up by Zyra as well, so he's going to be putting down a bit more damage there. Is Nif. We've got the Bulwark in for Volibear. That was there a little bit earlier, actually, before that last fight, but they were just generally moving up to a position where I'm not sure that Giants can really contend with what they've got.
No, I don't think they have the ability to get through that front line. The Volibear, the Darius, and all of the protection that Nif's Zyra is going to offer both Graves and Orianna, it's just so huge. And again, that previous fight, the knockup from Zyra was just spot on. I think he hit 4 out of the 5 members of Giants, completely zoned them in the middle of absolutely everywhere. Credit has to be given to Babette. He had a very good box placement as well. But, you know, it was the disruption from Nif that really helped seal the deal. It's difficult for Giants. The amount of crowd control that they have is good, but it just doesn't help in a big 5v5.
Yeah, and with that Baron coming up now, you surely got to say it's good game if SK managed to take this one. You may even say that it's good game at this point, and that Baron would just be a bonus for them in the end. We'll see what SK decide to do. Right now, they're pushing down this bottom lane. Inhibitor, of course, is wide open. And those super minions coming in. Hercubot going to stand on the trap, not even care as Extermi comes in. He's down to half. Here comes the Volibear, gets the kill in. It's actually going to be Darius. He's going to have that reset coming in. Apprehends 2 of them. Where's the finisher? Slams down on Samuks. The kills coming in left and right for SK. There's a shockwave onto Morden. He will die. They can't get through. And SK turn and head straight in towards the Nexus turrets. First one going to go down, but Better tries to run back to the fountain. They'll leave him be because they're ripping through the turrets. They will be finished off. Nexus going to go down, and SK Gaming going to pick up the victory here against Giants.
Ryze is considered to be one of the tankiest champions in the game, especially the way he's building, but he just got melted and destroyed in that team fight. It looks like rugged Ocelot had the power to pick up the win, and really well played to SK. Deserved victory.
You can see that they're very happy about it. Giants, no surprise, not so happy about how that one's gone from them. But again, they had a decent start, but SK just looking too strong overall. That's it from us here at the Castle Desk. We're going to throw it over to the analysis desk where Demon, Jason, and Arane are awaiting.
Well, what a beast of a match there, Joe Miller. So, interesting stuff, and honestly, it was kind of an expected win for SK Gaming, but I wouldn't say unexpected. Actually, that's harsh, because Giants were looking good for a while, and there was a few fights around the Dragon where it could honestly have gone any direction.
Yeah, it was pretty much like the first team fight. We already said before the team fight that it was a bad position for them to start a team fight. It was like Sen was coming already to a team fight, wasn't like a split pushing, and then like Hecarim combo with Sen wasn't that good. Ryze was out of position, Caitlyn as well, and they ended really badly. But it was like the second or third team fight that they started perfectly, and they won that team fight with like 2 or 3 kills.
Well, let's go back to right to the start. The picks and bans. Is there anything in there that maybe you were or weren't expecting?
No, I think it was like pretty normal picks. Probably I didn't expect the Darius pick from Kevin. I was expecting more like Irelia or something like that, or even Renekton, not Darius.
Right, and you were thinking maybe teleport from Volibear or something like that, but you weren't sure from Hercubot.
I was expecting some teleports, even like from Orianna or from Volibear in jungle, something like that I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, the teleport is it's an interesting thing, because it's something we've seen from Extermin always. I mean, that's all he runs. I guess Ryze goes teleport. It has worked a lot, but he didn't have a great deal of teleport gangster. There was just no success for him.
No, he didn't have a single success gang with it. Even that you have Trash in bottom and Trash bottom with the Q. If you grab someone, you can just instantly teleport and you get a kill for sure. But they didn't do anything there because they swap lanes. Something I don't really like it, because they had the blue side, and blue side as AD support is better because you get the advantage as golems. So they could go like blue side, get the golems, and just play a normal standard game. And if something happened bottom, you will have like Ryze there, and he can kill someone. But without that, like doing the swap lanes, it didn't work out. Because also like we had the first blood was on the Shen bottom, and he kind of failed the flash. He turned away, but then like Syra flashed and used the roots, and he tried to flash away, but he even get the roots at the end of it, and he died there.
Yeah, it was a little bit too far, but I don't know, man. It was a slow grind out, I guess, from SK, which is kind of what we've been seeing from some of the teams. You know, the more experienced teams, as they've just slowly got the wins. Is this a thing that's come with experience that you guys, obviously you were on SK before, is this just something that you guys talk about when to make sure you get the win? Obviously, I mean, we had EG before, and I talked about it in the cast. You know, when they had the 3 inhibitors down, they actually went aggressive. They don't normally do that. They're normally just like, well, we might as well back and buy. I mean, that's pure experience. There's no reason to go. They're not in a hurry. There's no bonus from winning fast unless you're in the Intel Extreme Masters sort of group stage, but there's no bonus for winning fast, so just play it safe.
Yeah, actually that's easy gameplay. It's like they get 3 enemy inhibitors, they are 20k ahead, but they decide to do a Drake, to do buffs, then a slow push and get another inhibitor, go back, do Baron, do again Drake, another slow push. Is like, that's a game style of ET. But I think like at this point, even that you don't think about we're gonna win by experience, it's just like your laning phase is stronger than enemy. You have more experience, you have more like initiate in jungle, in baits, initiate in like Drakes, and at the end it always starts like you getting ahead in goal. So it's pretty much like you don't need to talk about that. It's something like it came in the game.
Is it sometimes a danger when if you were to say let the game stretch out? I mean, we saw. I'm thinking obviously, you know, back in the days of COGU Moscow 5, 27,000 difference, but they let it get for so long that honestly the 27,000 goal didn't make that big a difference because all the teams, all the players had such end game builds. You know, is it a danger that if you can't finish that quick and you let the game drag out to, say, the 40-minute mark, that as SK have found out against Fnatic twice, if they were to just let it go and get built up, 1 ace, bam, you've lost the game. No matter how much you have an advantage.
In this game, for example, in this game, it was all about like some team fights that you see how SK is so experienced in team fights. It was like they had Giants has